And hello, you're welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Now, this show brings you the big stories for the week. When I come back, I'll tell you the big stories, and then I'll introduce my two guests, and we'll delve into the stories. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Thank you so much for making time to join us tonight. Let's see what the top stories have been for this week. The NDC, of course, has been busy this week. We'll start with stories around that party. The Chronicle says Amabua Jomoro MP filed nomination forms. Let's go to the City Newsroom. Let's see what they've been saying about the party. I'm committed to serve Kwabena Dufo after filing NDC presidential forms. Still with City Newsroom, Kojo Bonsue complains about NDC's 500,000 filing fee for flag bearer hopefuls. Still on that website, we have Mahama files nomination form to contest NDC flag bearership. And we'll wrap up with the NDC with that website. And we have NDC primaries will provide a level playing field for contestants. That's Fifi Kwete speaking over there. Now, the ECG has also been in the news this week, of course, because they have been trying to get institutions, public and private, to pay debt owed them. So let's see how that story has evolved for the week. Let's start with the Anchor newspaper. They say wasteful ECG embarks on wild goose chase as company uses 800 officers to read over 2.5 million postpaid meters. Still with the Anchor newspaper, they come again with another angle to the story. They say ECG pays meter reading staff paltry 1,000 cedis as salary, no transport allowance, medical care or provident fund as anger brews. Let's move to City Newsroom on that story. It says transformers to be metered by year ending to check power theft. That's the ECG MD speaking. Also, pay your debt even if you don't see bills. ECG MD to postpaid customers. And finally, ECG disconnects Cape Coast Sports Stadium over 530,000 legacy debt. We'll wrap up with a story to do with the EC and some bit of back and forth over appointments made to the EC by the president. Let's see how the opposition and the former president have been reacting to that development. City Newsroom says Mahama criticizes Akufo-Addo over latest appointments to EC board. And then graphiconline.com says don't be cowed into submission on your decisions. President urges EC. So those are some of the top stories for the week. One to do with the appointments to the Electoral Commission. We saw them being sworn in this week. Two ladies and a gentleman. And then, of course, the NDC have been busy about to embark on their presidential and parliamentary primaries. So most people have filed their nomination forms. And then, of course, ECG has been chasing those who owe them. Let me introduce my guests for tonight, and then we'll delve deeper into these developing stories. I have with me Samuel Tamenta. He's with City FM and City TV. Welcome again to What the Papers Are Saying. I also have Stella Madonu also here with us at City FM and City TV. Stella, welcome again.
Thank you, Vivian.
Right, so gentlemen, I think we will start with the EC story. We've seen the opposition. For example, Kofi Adams 2 days ago saying that the members that were sworn in to join the commission shouldn't have been the case because they are affiliated to the MPP and they may not be partial in their dealings as the commission is expected to do. I don't know who will start, whether I should start with you or come to you, Stella. Maybe you can tell us what is required to be on the commission. We know that the basic requirement is somebody who's qualified to be an MP. Beyond that, do we have any other qualifications you need to be part of the commission?
Well, thanks, Vivian. So the appointment to the commission is essentially done by the president with assistance from other persons. And it is clear that when you look at Article 43, which talks about the Electoral Commission itself, 44 talks about the qualification and terms of and conditions of the members of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission shall consist of a chairman, 2 deputy chairmen, and then 4 other members. And the members of the commission shall be appointed by the president under Article 70 of the Constitution. So in terms of the qualification of the persons, I don't think there's enough to bicker about in terms of what substance they have, etc. I think the difficulty really that we've seen people express is with the party coloration of some of the persons. Yeah. And given that we have an electoral commission that is unfortunately embroiled in a lot of suspicion, depending on which side of the political divide you sit and who is in power, many would have thought that in appointing people onto the commission, often you try and bring people who, of course, they are men and women of integrity, but if there is some connection to a particular political party, and that political party is the party in government or whose president is appointing that appointment, it rather deepens the suspicion we already see the organization, suffering. Yeah. So I think there was a gentleman we saw.
That's Dr. Peter Piahini.
And we understand he's a patron of the TESCON at the university in the Eastern Region.
Tertiary education.
Yes, TESCON patron. So I think that is a bit of the difficulty. The appointment has been made and a whole lot of things. But I would have thought that maybe that part would have been considered a bit, because we are going into a very crucial election. We need the Electoral Commission to remain the credible institution we've known it to be, to remain the seeming independent institution we want it to be, etc. So if you have instances where people with clear political leanings and active participation in political activity are appointed onto the committee or the commission, it's a problem. Of course, I know that when you dig, others will tell you that okay, this other person was appointed onto this commission or onto that body, and it didn't have to be so, etc. But we are evolving a democracy, and the Electoral Commission and how it was seen 10, 15, 20 years ago is not the same. The suspicion, political suspicion, and how we have, politicized institutions, have worsened. And so you can't say somebody did it 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
But is there anything like somebody being totally clear of having a connection somewhere? Shouldn't it just be about competence?
Of course, that's it. That's what I'm saying, that when you look at the people, I don't think anybody's raised any problem about competence. But I think of course, nobody may be very, very neutral, because in any case you will vote, and voting means you are making a choice between one or two persons. But the point I'm making is when there's already suspicion. So imagine, for example, you have an NDC government and an NDC president is making the appointment, and he appoints a patron of Tain, for example. You would expect the same sentiments to be raised, which means it is a matter that whoever is making the appointment must consider. Because you don't want to make appointments and something happens at the Electoral Commission. It's normal, but people read meanings into it. Electoral Commission may take a decision or make a decision which any Electoral Commission will take any day. That decision may go against one party, and it's okay, it's because you have your people packed onto the commission. That is why this decision is being taken. Mind you, there's a conversation about a new CI in the mix somewhere. And all of these things, I think whoever was making the appointment should have taken,
in consideration everything that's happening.
I don't know whether this came up or not.
So we'll come back to you, but let me bring in some comments on whether we should be concerned, or the thoughts that there's a bit of coloration here. So perhaps those people, for example, we are told the guy was with TESCON. The lady, Kofi Adams' reason for the lady, the Reverend, was she goes on Assassin Radio, and everybody knows the connection. And then the third person, her family is deeply entrenched in the MPP and all that. other genuine concerns that must be looked into?
Well, there are concerns. Generally, I can understand why people will show concern, and we should all be concerned. You know, my only departure is that when you point out some of these issues, they should be more factual than speculative. Okay, I mean, look, the fact that somebody's family is in a particular political party, we can't overstretch it like this. I mean, we had Larry Ajete, who was, I mean, knee deep into NDC affairs. Who was his father? Peter Ajete. So you can't say that because Larry Ajete's father is, you know, it doesn't work that way all the time. And I think that you know, if the gentleman is a sitting patron of TESCON, then there definitely will be questions about these things. Definitely. Because you see, it has to do with lots, as in casting of lots with the Electoral Commission. It's, you know, there's a game of probabilities. Who either A wins or B wins. And there's, you know, the whole council of electoral commissioners who superintend over the process. So people will be concerned. You know, my challenge with this one is the way they stretch it to make it look like all the appointments, you know, and then they talk about the lady, what's her name? Reverend Ekuya Ofori-Boateng. And then the reason is that she appears on Asasi Radio. I think that's so unfair. I mean, that's so unfair. And you see, this is what compromises the stance. Yeah. You know, I mean, if they talked about the gentleman alone, that you know, it has some substance. But Ofori-Boateng, of all people, who was her father? Her father was chairman of INEC at the time. Appointed by who? The NDC. Wow. Has she herself been an appointee of the NDC before? Go and check who was the deputy MD of BOST under John Mahama. Check which name you find there. But does it really matter? It doesn't matter. It does not. For me, it doesn't matter. Because she's very competent. You know, what people don't know is that she wears the, what do you call that? Is it cassock you call it? She wears the cassock. She's a proper electrical mechanical engineer. Oh. She's a highly qualified global level engineer. But she chooses to be in ministry. You understand? So I'm just saying that you can question the TESCON person, but Reverend Ofori-Boateng, leave her alone. The fact that she chooses to go to Asasi Radio to preach the gospel, and by that she's compromised, I think that's overstretching it.
It's actually pedestrian.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, what she goes to do at Asasi or whatever radio station is important. If she was going there as, you know, a political pundit, then that's a different matter. But she goes there to preach. So is it?
We should be clapping for the lady by now.
Yes.
We actually should be clapping for her.
Are we stretching it to say that because we know who owns Asasi, and so everybody who appears on Asasi, you know, anybody who appears on a particular station, no matter what the person is doing, has a certain political lean? I think that would be about stretching it.
For this particular one, it's just so unfair.
I mean,
it's like we have to do something against the woman.
It's pedestrian.
I mean, who doesn't love Reverend Ekuya-Boateng? You know, this one is young lady doing so well, chooses to go into ministry with the Anglican Church, doing prisons ministry, doing full gospel ministry, and has offered to provide her services at that level at a space that her father has superintended before. In Ghana here. And their father, was he appointed by MPP? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter. So let's leave her alone. If you go after the doctor, please go after the doctor and leave the woman alone.
So what happens to the doctor in this sense, having, you know?
Well, there's no clear provision that, you know, you mustn't have a political leaning, you know. So I think,
must it be obvious?
I think a lot of the time it is the morality of it. So you are an interested party in a battle or in a contest, and you also appear as a referee.
Yeah.
That raises a moral question. So he can decide to say, for example, that because of A, B, and C, maybe I've been deeply involved in this, so for this reason, I withdraw or I won't do it again. Or maybe the president himself, whoever appointed him, could do so. But it doesn't often happen in our part of the world. So what will happen is the person will continue sitting on that body. If they go around and they find something around him, then they can go through the proper constitutional processes to remove him. But that is if they find something. But in the absence of that, I mean, being a member of a political party is not a crime. We don't even know whether he has resigned or not, or he's still the person. We don't know how long he has served. We don't know if it was in his past. We don't know. But it is just a moral matter. And given where we are in our democracy and the suspicion and all of that, you would think that people will consider that a bit in accepting the appointment or in making the appointment. That is just my issue with it. And in fact, I have no issue with the Reverend and even the other person. The only one I saw was a gentleman because of his, so-called involvement with the TESCON. That's just my issue.
Okay. So, your closing remarks on that, the gentleman with the TESCON background.
I think, again, of the three names, he is the person that will still have question marks around. And not for any legal reason, but for more moral context. That, okay, so you pick him from TESCON and put him right as a judge in a national election. So you never know which president comes and has an opportunity to pick and decides that, why don't I take my party chairman and put him there? People can be, that extreme, So maybe that's where the consideration should come. But with the two ladies, Ekuya Ofori-Boateng and the other lady, I don't see the point. They should be there.
Okay. We'll stay a bit with politics. The NDC has been busy. They've been picking their forms to be, parliamentary as well as presidential flag bearers. Now, one of them, Kojo Bonsu, has been complaining about the filing fee for presidential, which is 500,000 Ghana cedis. That's huge, isn't it?
What was he expecting?
Maybe 40, 60, 100,000.
The filing fee is not necessarily an administrative fee. It's also a way of raising money for the party.
Yeah, and then cutting people off.
Yeah, a way of raising money for the party. So that's why it's publicized for people to know, so that it will help you to take a decision. You don't come and bargain. Filing fee is saying, so that you just take your decision. This is what it is. I want to subscribe to it. If I can't, just go and support somebody else if you don't have the money. Yeah, I don't know what it means to declare that you want to be part of it and then go and look to bargain for a reduction of filing fee, if that's what he did.
I think doesn't it remove a lot of potential?
Well, I mean, it's the highest office of the land. I don't think it should be one that should go to the highest bidder, but it is also one that should demonstrate, or when you are ready for it, you should be able to demonstrate that you are able to mobilize resources. It's an important part of the game. So if you are running, of course, I think he was trying to make a populist point, because he said he has paid, but he thought it was too much. So did it mean that if he couldn't raise it, though he might have had a capacity to rise to the top, it means he would have been cut off? And my answer to him is that you having capacity to rise to the top also means that you should have capacity and the networks needed to raise money like this. Running a presidential campaign is no joke in Ghana. The CDD says that parties need about $100 million to run an effective campaign. And if you cannot pay 500,000 cedis, or you are complaining about paying 500,000 cedis, how then are you going to lead a campaign that needs to raise this much money? Even though I think it's on the high side, in my opinion. So it's a question of your ability to raise funds. We saw the MPP prior to the 2016 election do a number of things to raise funds. Adopting a polling station, people standing in traffic, very prominent people standing in traffic, taking money from people, all in an attempt to raise funds. You must have what it takes to raise funds. I think it dovetails into the bigger conversation about political party funding. We heard John Mahama also earlier in the week, make similar, or say that the state must start considering, or the state must look at funding political parties,
yeah.
etc. It's a very big discussion, and so how is that going to be done? You know, and what is the problem really? Are we saying that the way we've been doing it till now has been problematic? What are the problems? Are they vulnerable to the people who fund them or their financiers? And how have they been able to sketch
but
that
doesn't
all
it
along?
put so much pressure on the political parties,
No,
pushing them to, you know, go all sorts of, you know,
No,
ways to get the
it
money?
does, and it's a conversation or a discussion I would like to have any day about how the state will get involved in funding political parties. But we need to be interested in the nuances. How is the state going to do it? Are we going to say that the state gives you X amount of money and so you do not have to raise funds on your own? In this, our political system, which is...
Maybe we'll do it like FIFA does with the
no, so if the
various-
state gives me money and financiers come to give me money to help my campaign,
take it or
I don't
not?
take it. You know, we need to understand how the discussion should be. State funding political parties is not a bad thing. It is good because political parties play a lot of roles in shaping the political view, political will, political ideas of people. So if there's something the state can do to assist parties, let's do it. You know, indeed, we must also try and show the parties from external funding, external sources, you know, illicit inflows of funds in funding political activities. We need to be a bit more root and branch about it. What is the role of the political parties themselves? Would they be accountable to the state? You know, what is the criteria? Who becomes, who sets up a political party? Because the state will be funding political activities, are we going to have a lot of political parties springing up? What is the criteria really? We need to understand that, but generally, it is not a bad idea. But as they say, the devil is always in the detail. We need to drill down to see what's the criteria. Will it be parties with representation in parliament? And if I'm a third force coming, like Peter Obi or even this gentleman, Macron. Macron came on the scene. He didn't have structures. He just came on the scene, and then now he's all over the place. He's president of France. We saw Peter Obi. He didn't have parliamentary representation. Do we cut off people who are not in parliament or parties without parliamentary representation? Yeah. How is the format going to be? We need to understand all of that. So it's not just saying it. We need to really drill down
details.
and be sure what
okay.
we're asking.
Sometimes I have to take a quick break. When I come, I'll pick your thoughts on that. It's still what the papers are saying. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Now, in 1831, the Danish governor, on behalf of the Danish government, purchased the deed for a newly established plantation in the Kuapim Range north of Accra, Bikuben, the Beehive.
The Heritage Month on City is on. Allow us to take you on a journey to rediscover our rich heritage and traditions through the art of storytelling on the Heritage On Air series. In this season of the Heritage On Air series, we will explore aspects of our cultural legacy that focuses on our people, food, places, and music. Join us as we delve into the narratives surrounding our various ethnic groups and historical figures of interest. We will bring you conversations dedicated to special exposés on our different indigenous meals and historical facts about the food we eat. We will also take you on a visit to historical places of significance and highlight stories linked to our colonial governance interspersed with a celebration of our Ghanaian security service. We'll walk you through the evolution with a detailed appreciation of our Ghanaian musical prowess from antiquity. Let's make a date on City TV and City FM from the 1st to the 31st of March 2023 as we bring you the stories that reflect the diversified culture of our people, food, places, and music on the Heritage On Air series. The Heritage On Air series is powered by City TV with support from City FM and is sponsored by the National Lotteries Authority.
So welcome back to what the papers are saying. My name is Vivian Kailoko. I'm here with Samuel Tamens as well as Salom Adonu. We're looking at the NDC. We've seen a number of them going back to pick forms to contest as parliamentarians, and also those who want to be, the flag bearer for the party, also picking their forms to do so. And the conversation has moved into whether the state should fund political parties. Let me pick your thoughts on that. I don't think we should be funding political parties, but maybe, hey, who am I?
No, you're a big one.
So again, this is an issue that has keeps coming.
Yeah,
It's like a cycle. Occasionally it comes, it gets missing, and then it pops up again. And but that is an ideal that all other things being equal, you would want to advocate for the funding so as to control the leakages, if you know what I'm talking about, because you are in a country where, generally speaking, we don't compel people to state the source of their income. And also, there's nothing that compels you to disclose how you spend your money, like in other jurisdictions. So people just cross the border, pick sacks of money, come and do their politics. Now, wherever they brought the money from, when they win the elections, they owe something back to them. So this is the cycle that has bedeviled our democratic governance since 1993. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. So I can understand why President Mahama will start looking at a thing like that. It sounds nice, but it's not plausible. It's not going to happen.
Why do you say so?
It's not plausible because when you say that the funding of political parties, which aspects of the political parties are you thinking of funding? Is it at the presidential level, at the parliamentary level, at the which part?
Or the national party.
At the national, so they should give money to the parties to run their operations or to conduct their elections. It's more complex than that, and so it may sound like the ideal, but I think it's light years away that we will take money. And will it be enough? I mean, you are in a country where the clear and present dangers that are facing us, we are not able to raise money to deal with them.
Can we afford it?
You understand? And we set money aside to give to political parties who don't report to the state. I mean, how do you do that? I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Do we have any country that is doing that?
No,
what they do?
I think that there should be examples around. What I know, though, is that there are certain political parties in countries in Eastern Europe which have clear ways of funding their activities. I think our political parties essentially are lazy. In other parts of the world, political parties own businesses. They have malls, they have a lot of things that give them money. So they don't just depend on the state. The drive to collect dues is important. But because of how we have run our politics, when a politician comes to you to take dues, it's strange because we think they should rather be giving us money. So it's difficult for a politician to be raising money, like to be collecting dues. They only pay the dues if they want to run for positions. So if they want to run for position, they go and pay 1 year in arrears, just to qualify. But raising money really for political activity through dues payments is very minute, it's small. It doesn't really help. Others own businesses. Others find ways of raising funds. I mentioned the Kenofurata and MPP approach of adopting a polling station and all of that. These are innovative things. Our political parties have been lazy. I don't know how many political parties in our country today own businesses. So they will wait till election year, then they start riding around looking for money. We can look at the law, but they are the politicians. If they want to do it, they will do it. They sell paraphernalia. They do a lot of things. Some of them have newspapers they sell. They have a lot of things they do. So they are engaged in money-making ventures. They should be able to do things like that. If the laws do not allow it, They are the politicians. We have put them there to make laws and do other things. If it's in their interest, they will get it done. So, state funding political activity, I don't think it's a very simple thing. But, it's a discussion, it's a debate. I think we need to discuss it more. Maybe we'll fine-tune it and get to a point. The political parties must also be accountable. The Electoral Commission hasn't also helped in a lot in that. The Constitution, for example, is clear that political parties shall be required by law to declare to the public their revenues and assets and the sources of those revenues and assets. I don't remember the last time we saw a political party do this. And they shall publish to the public annually their audited accounts. Nobody does
We've
it.
never seen it before.
Even with this, I see loopholes. At which level of the political party activity are we demanding accountability?
Maybe from the national.
Just
No, maybe it's a starting point. But
no, I'm just saying that. How about parliamentary? So parliamentary aspirants, the money they spend in campaigning. So what? If states going to fund that? At which level?
Yes.
At the primary level?
So that's the question.
At the main contest? So I'm just saying that it's not as
simple as.
as
Because if the state is fund, maybe the state says everybody will get 1 million cedis, for example, and you have somebody who is interested in your campaign for whatever reason comes to give you money to assist the campaign. Will you say because the state has given you
like
money?
5 billion.
I
It gives them 1
that's
billion.
just state support.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's just
that's
state
just
support.
state support. But state funding, as in, if like underwriting the whole cost
Total cost.
of it won't happen.
cannot
It's not good. We don't have money
Yeah, we
for
don't.
that.
We can't do.
It's a choice you make to want to contest. If you want to contest, go and find your own money and go and contest. I think so.
Right. Okay. We'll move to ECG. They've
No, but
been.
we're not done with
Sorry?
the NDC thing. We haven't even started the NDC.
Oh. I hope that people don't read meanings to this. So the first was on the 500K. So now we have Kwabena Duffuor picking his form. We have Mahama picking his form. And then we have Kojo Bonsu as well as these three picking their forms. The fourth gentleman, who was a businessman, we've not seen him go pick his form yet. Not that I've seen. But now we know the three main contenders signed and sealed. They'll go to May, and then we'll see who wins. Salom, three, isn't it a clear deal here? Who is going to take this?
Like I said before, people run for political office for various things. Of the three, I mean, they all know where they stand, really. I mean, they all know it's not a
So why
competitive
do
race.
they bother?
Yeah, so people do it for various interests. Maybe somebody wants to be recognized in the party so that tomorrow when the party wins, they know he's been a leading member and so he has to be considered to do some things. Somebody wants, a business opportunity. Somebody wants to brighten his chance or be seen for a certain business interest. When they do these things and they travel, I mean, the way they receive them outside, the missions, etc., they give them some kind of
Recognition and,
So people do things for various reasons. Somebody wants to run because he's receiving some money from somewhere. There are a lot of reasons. Not everybody that runs in some of these races
Know
will
they'll
actually
win.
run because they know they will win. No, it's for various reasons. Somebody wants to find a way of entering the system. Doing this is at the very top level, national level. You by all means know that, oh, this guy is around or this guy is able to do this. And so he registers himself in the system. Kojo Bonsu, I thought it was a very audacious and very bold attempt. He tried it in
He seems to be
2018.
coming back and back, yeah.
He didn't really go through
Yeah.
at the time. Now he's going to put himself together in his camp. I really want to know what he wants to do for the party. He says he wants to rebrand the party. I don't know what he means by rebranding the party. Let's see. Duffuor, of course, very accomplished economist, governor of the Bank of Ghana, former finance minister. And his trump card or his major point is that in his time as finance minister, the economy was quite stable. We had the very high growth rate, I think about 14% or so. Many attributed that, and indeed so, to the oil find at the time, because that was around the time we found oil. And in that year, the growth rate, jumped, and Ghana became either the fastest growing economy or second fastest growing economy in the world. So he's saying that in this economic circumstance we find ourselves in, he's a guy to do it because he's done it
It
before.
looks like he will be the
No, but
one
the-
who get the second most votes. I mean,
well, there are 3 now, but you never know.
no, I'm sorry. I'm told the fourth guy has filed. Earlier I was here, but
Okay. But there's the other
he's
side of the
filed.
discussion. John Mahama also says at the time he was the head of the economic management team. So if,
So
if the economy was good at the time, he was the guy who chaired the
Who
economic
did it, not
management
Kwabena
team.
Dufo?
You know, so Kwabena Dufo was finance minister. He chaired the economic management team. I think it will be an interesting race. What we need is a competition of ideas. Let's see them. You know, let's see their idea. Let's hear them. Let's see how they conduct themselves. And we only hope that the best candidate wins. Even though it's quite clear who wins.
John Mahama, Kwabena Dufo, Kojo Bonsu. I'll try and get the name of the fourth guy. No competition there for John Mahama, is there? Really?
I mean, it goes without saying that John Mahama is a favorite, and I mean, without blinking, he's winning hands down. And you ask the question, why are the
Why
rest
they bothered to
having
go?
to bother? But it's politics, and people do things for different reasons, you know. And I see 2 Ashanti people, that's Kojo Bonsu, Kwabena Dufo, you know. And the thing that hits me is, okay, these are persons who have been in the NDC and believe that the NDC is drifting to a place where they necessarily need an Ashanti complement to push their chances. And so why not me?
Okay.
You get me? So yeah, because no matter what you do, the Akan constituencies generally will vote MPP. Now, how do we get part of that cake, if you like? And they believe that it has to be an Ashanti person who should show up. Now, if they are not going to get the running mate nod, then they have to use other means to make a showing. For me, that's what I think is happening, you know. But having said that, it's actually a credit to the credentials of the NDC, regardless of how you look at it. Okay, that's okay. So you have John Mahama and you have 3 others who are quote unquote contesting him. We know what the outcome will be, but at the end of the day, when the story is written, it will be said that there were 4 contestants. True?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think John Mahama will get less than 95%. I don't
But
think
Kojo
so.
Bonsu made a point that the last elections, they saw the stadium full and they didn't
No, I mean, it's for him to say. We work in the media. What I'm saying is, look, but truth be told, the NDC has come very far. As close as it gets to what the MPP used to look like in terms of organizing elections. And the reason is the NDC had been in power from 93 all the way to 2001.
Yeah.
Okay, we never saw any internal elections for the NDC. We never saw anything like that. In fact, there was none. Whereas the MPP was doing the Sunyani thing, the Legon thing, the University of Ghana, you know, the primaries. NDC wasn't, because of course it was Jerry Rawlings. Okay, the first time we saw this happen in 1999, Swedru, when he, you know, the crowd, he just lifted the hand of President Mills that he is going to be my vice, and that was it. Everybody keep quiet. Let's go on. 2000, July of 2000, we all drove to Ho. Okay, we went to Ho. I was there, sitting there when they did the popular acclamation. Pine, Rawlings becomes vice. You know, so that was
I get
NDC
your point. Interesting,
until Mills post 2000. You know, post 2000 Mills. I forget where it was held, but Mills came out and he chose Mohamed Mumuni as his running mate. Okay, but the real contest of primaries for NDC, I believe, started in 2006.
Is it the Spilgabra?
The Spilgabra, where a strange thing happened when a very close accomplice of President Mills in the name of Eddie Annan also popped up to contest President Mills. You get me? And President Mills won, of course, followed by Spio Gabra, Alhaji Muhammad Idrisu, and then Eddie Annan, in that order. So that was when this whole thing started. But again, people have forgotten that the NDC for a very long time didn't subscribe to this structure of having one chairman. For a long time, they did the co-chairman thing. A.A. Munufie, Alhaji Isifu Ali, they held the chairmanship seat till post-2000. When 2003, they did this thing. Now, before the election, Obeda Samuel mooted the idea that it should be a chairman. And he went ahead to win. So, you see, what I'm saying is that we have seen the evolution over the years. And now it's come out to be a beautiful thing. Whether John Mahama, we know, will win or not, the thing is still established that it's open for everybody who wants to. Whether you know you are going to get 1 vote or 10 votes, whatever I believe, come and join. And we know what the outcome will be.
And, you know, when you look at the nature of the campaign, John Mahama's focus is not on the three people.
like on the real election.
He's fighting a national election. I mean, the way he deals with the matters, he's dealing with the economy. He doesn't really care what the rest are saying. I've not really heard a lot from them, really.
He doesn't have to say anything to them.
Yes. I mean, what I mean
he's
is
the ex-president.
He's
the
ex-president.
ex-president. Indeed, not just an ex-president, the immediate past
ex-president.
You understand? So he's still relevant in our body politics. And whatever he says is news. Sorry to say, whatever Kwabena Atufo says today is not news as compared to what John Mahama says. So it's important that we don't lose the voice of John Mahama in providing an alternative view of the way the country is run. And he takes credit for that. That can be passed on to his chances in the primaries.
Exactly the point.
Okay.
So the other point is, if he had strong challenges or strong competition in this, he would have been taking some of the policy propositions from the other sides, trying to punch holes into them to offer an alternative, etc. But we don't see that because it is not even a contest. So he just goes ahead and he deals with it the way he wants to deal with it.
Okay, I'll take a quick break again. When I come back, we'll wrap up with the NDC and look at the new names that are popping up. There appears to be a lot of young people, you know, from different places, whether it's from entertainment side, whether it's from families.
At the parliamentary level.
Yes, the parliament. We'll move to the parliamentary. I think we've exhausted the presidential. And look at why there's so much interest in going there and the new crop of people who are showing interest, especially with the NDC. When we ride back, do stay with us.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
So you're welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai. Look, I'm here with Samuel Tameza as well as Selim Adonu. We're wrapping up on the NDC's parliamentary and presidential elections. They have been filing their nomination forms. But guys, let's move to the parliamentary level. Now, a lot of young people are now, we see that a lot with the MPP. It's quite common. But a new, trend of people, men and women, young, moving to the NDC side now. Now, this guy was very popular on social media, I think a year or so ago. Kojo Jones-Mensah, for example. John Dumelo tried. He's popular already. Nyama,
Fred Nyama.
Fred Nyama has also shown interest in, interestingly, going to the
same-
same place
and they're supposed to
John
be friends,
Dumelo, you know, where it has been a back and forth in the media among the two of them. But what is pulling this young crop of people, you know?
I think it's just a phase in the evolution of the political party. We saw this in the MPP. A while back, where you saw Anthony Kabu and Sami
NLA,
Sami Oku,
yeah.
and all those people come to the forefront of political party activity. And I think it's just a phase. And trust me, if you look at even the Volta region, look at James Kruche, Aveji, and all those people bowing out. They've served their term. And these young people, Edem Agbana and these
Edem
people,
Agbana.
young people, but they've been very active. And this is something we never had before. We didn't have the benefit of experienced young people. We had motivated young people, knowledgeable young people, but not experienced. So I think what is weighing in their favor is that you have lots of experienced young people going into politics. I don't know much about the Jones person. All I know is that his father was an astute CPP person, lawyer Jones Mensah, which we all know, and also is connected to a lot of the current NDC campaigns. I think he's the nephew of Sylvester Mensah. So it's,
I think his father became a judge at some
At a
point.
point.
Yeah, was a judge, right? Yeah.
said-
And that's the sister is Penelope Jones
Penelope
Mendes.
Jones,
So,
yes.
you know, he's not a stranger to the system, but it's heartwarming to see these people not just sit on the fence and want to play roles, especially from geographical areas where they hail from, you know, to add their quota to development. So I think it's something, the phase, this is where it's gotten to, and we encourage more young people to also, you know, get on the field and dirty themselves proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a good development. It's an interesting development. So I was impressed with people like Dr. Bayo, General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association until recently, running. And today I saw a senior of mine, Raphael Aligina, lawyer Raphael Aligina, who is a very good lawyer, contesting China Paga. I was quite surprised. My own, Zankawa, you know, quite very young people, you know, trying to make contributions to the politics of this country. Maybe it shows the direction of the country where we are going. Maybe it's time for the very, very, very old to gradually phase themselves out and make room for these young people to take up power, etc. Dr. Jokoto, all these guys have, like Simon said, some experience, a lot of experience in various fields, bringing it together, you know, to make sure that their contribution to their constituencies, you know, are seen. I think it's a welcome call. It's a good development. We can
And
really
we're
But I
embrace
see
it.
Fred Nyama there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the Fred Nyama
I
and John
John
Dumelo
Dumelo,
competition or, you know, matter is quite interesting. They are supposed to be very good friends, I understand.
But is John Dumelo still?
Yes,
Yes,
he
yes,
has
he-
announced,
he's-
and
he
he's
says
even
he's
going to
contesting.
take his.
And so, there's quite some...
Because
some-
he said he met Fred, and Fred never told him he was going to.
Yeah, Fred also insists that
That
he
he
was
told
told,
him
you know,
something, yeah.
so it's a whole political
Fred doesn't owe
entertainment.
it to him to tell him anything.
Of
I mean,
course.
it's political contest.
Yeah, but if your friend is there,
I mean, they are in the same industry. It doesn't mean we are friends that we
No,
share.
but I thought
we
they were.
share.
I thought
Close,
they-
No,
they-
I don't know for a fact. All I know is I know Fred. I don't know John Dumelo. I know Fred. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't know who John Dumelo.
sure.
I know
Yeah,
him.
listen.
If I meet him, hello, hi. Fred Nyama, I know him from his days in Ho Polytechnic, and I'm talking about the 90s. So I've known him over the years, so I know him. And I'm just saying that if he wants to do it, so be it. He's garnered enough experience in the entertainment industry. He's you know,
I was always
Fred Nyama
welcome.
is that good, you know.
see.
So if he wants to stand, why not? But the thing, Fred, John Dubello has been there. If you want to contest, go contest. If you lose, you just go and support him for the national. That's how it works. You know, you don't do your first shot and think that you upstage him just like that. If you do, congrats.
That would be an interesting contest.
It will be an interesting contest, really. And the woman herself, Sarah Malasan, is waiting on the sidelines. Of course, she has her own contest to fight later, but it will be interesting. Whoever emerges, Don Dubello now has some experience. The last time people said because the universities were closed at the time of registration, etc., you know, it affected him because a lot of his appeal was in the university. We don't know that. But
social media appeals will be deceptive. I'm running from the thing is happening on the ground, so
it's interesting how
everybody can make a case for the loss. But I think that they should all go and contest at the primaries.
Yes.
If I lose, I support you. If you lose, you support me at the national. That's as simple as that.
Okay, guys, we have just about 3 minutes. Quick thoughts around the ECG chasing, you know, those who owe it to get it back its money. You have 1 minute each.
Oh, you mean whether it's good or bad?
No, of course they need their money.
It's long overdue. The ECG should not negotiate anything. The ECG, they shouldn't negotiate anything because, look, you know what we call Bodamenite? You know Bodamenite? You don't know you don't see Bodamenite. You know somebody who is chisel and uses madness to cover up. He's not mad. The people know what they are doing. How can a company that depends on power, as in electricity power, to run its core business,
raw material,
refuse to pay the source of the electricity, and you are going to negotiate? Do you think they don't know? They know what they are doing. And a lot of them, they've been getting away with this thing for years. And then when they are saying that ECG is poor, they also add to the commentary. So ECG, go for your money. Take the money from everybody. Don't go and say, oh, and pay half and pay. You are not a tax man. No. You need the money to pay salaries, to repair all these old whatever pipes and whatever. Because some of us who use prepaid, we haven't been exposed this way. The postpaid people are the people causing the confusion, especially those who can afford. Look, go check some of the companies. Go and see their profits that they've posted in the last year or two.
And what they are owing now.
And then you are owing in millions, and you want to pay it by thought. Do you know thought? To pay the thing by thought. No, they should go. Come on, they should go and take their money.
I think the young man, Samuel Dubik Muhammad, deserves a lot of commendation, and I think he did his.
He said he's been getting calls from big people to stop.
I think he's done his
again. This getting calls thing. People want to twist their thing to see is government trying to stop. I mean, how do you say that?
I think government itself is happy that this is happening because the energy sector net is an albatross around government.
See,
I mean, ECG.
Salon, any company that is bold enough to owe ECG 30-40 million cedis and not lose any sleep will have connection in high places. I'm telling you. They know what they are doing. So definitely they will call people. Our little thing of war against indiscipline that we're doing. When we arrest people, what happens?
You're calling.
You get calls.
I mean, the fools are calling. They keep calling.
All manner of people.
They keep calling. They are calling. They keep calling. They keep ringing.
They keep calling.
Some of them are in opposition. Some of them are in government. Some of them are big businessmen who believe that they are influential. But hey, this is where it stops. It's a new ECG. It's a new leadership. Let's respect them. Let's give them their money.
I think it's a great thing. I mean, Samuel Muhammad deserves a lot of commendation for that. They need to go all out and do it. They're giving themselves 1 month to be able to retrieve some 5 billion. We hope that they meet the target, even if not 80-90% of that. A strong ECG helps us, and a strong ECG means a stronger Ghana and a stronger economy.
Salam, ECG day to the old people.
Of course, but they must get their money to pay.
They owe IPPs.
They owe a lot of people.
They owe suppliers, and you know a lot of the suppliers have taken money from banks and compounding interest. You get me? And if you take ECG to court, what do you get?
So they need to get their money
They
to pay
should
their
collect their
supplies.
money quick.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Salawadonu. Thank you. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Thank you too for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.